put you in the middle of fun.
AstroWorld was an amusement park that opened in Houston, Texas in the United States on June 1st, 1968. For a number of years, the park had a group of walk-around characters called the Enchanted Animals. But it wouldn't be until 1972 that the park would create a mascot that would become a staple and icon of the park for years to come. I'm Hayden, and welcome to this episode of Amusement Oddities on Media Oddities, where we talk about topics in the amusement industry which are obscure or forgotten. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Raleigh Crump was a Disney Imagineer who's designed and worked on multiple attractions for Disney, such as the Haunted Mansion and It's a Small World, rides which are considered classics and are staples of Disney parks around the world. Crump would design attractions outside of Disney, however, such as Berry Tales, a dark ride at Knott's Berry Farm in Buena Park, California in 1975. But before he would do that, in 1972 he would create the character of Marvel McFey for AstroWorld to act as the park's main mascot. Marvel McFey is a 3,000-year-old gypsy man with magical powers who lives in the outer reaches of the galaxy in a place called Marvel-land. Marvel would be accompanied by revamped versions of the Enchanted Animals, the original park mascots as established before, Frida Frog, a sassy frog who lives in a tree, Winston Wolf, the sheriff of Marvel Land who is constantly tired, Flopper Rabbit, a rabbit who loves flowers, Pierre Le Rat, a rat with a French accent who enjoys painting, Samantha Skunk, an ironically good-smelling skunk, Darnie O'Duck, an Irish duck who always reminisces on stories about Marvel McFey, Quiz Pig, a pig who is always spouting facts and is a lot smarter than the other animals, Lester Lion, a dim-witted lion who loves baseball, Percy Penguin, a suit-wearing penguin who can't stand heat, Beethoven Bear, a bear who only sings Beethoven's music instead of talking, Harpo and Chiquita Pig, a pair of pigs who enjoy causing mischief around Marvel Land. Marvel and his animal friends would appear in advertisements and merchandise for the park and greet guests within it. For a time, the characters would even appear at games for the city's baseball team. The Houston Astros, acting as unofficial mascots for the Astros, who played at the Astrodome, the stadium which neighbored AstroWorld. Along with all of this, Marvel McFey and his Enchanted Animals would get their own stage show in the park of the same name. The show would be located in the Magical World of Marvel McFey section of the park, which also housed the petting zoo and multiple small children's rides. This stage show featured what is possibly what the character is most fondly remembered for: his theme song, a catchy and original music piece exclusively written and composed for the park.
Marvel McFey, Marvel McFey, you make my world a magical world each day, a magical day. Marvel McFey, Marvel McFey, you're super fine, you make the world mine, you're marvelous, Marvel McFey.
In 1975, the Six Flags Corporation would buy AstroWorld. Despite this, the park would remain relatively the same for a number of years, which included Marvel McFey staying with the park. This would change in 1984, though, when Six Flags acquired the Great America Amusement Park in Gurnee, Illinois, from the Marriott hotel chain. With the acquisition of Great America, Six Flags gained the rights to the Warner Brothers Looney Tunes franchise. Throughout the 1985 season, Marvel McFey and his Enchanted Animals would be slowly phased out of AstroWorld in favor of the newly acquired Looney Tunes characters. The children's area of the park would even be rethemed to accommodate the Looney Tunes characters as well. The Looney Tunes characters would remain at the park up until the AstroWorld's sudden and untimely closure on October 30th, 2005. On the last weekend of the park's operation, former staff members gathered at the park for a special event at the park to reminisce and share memories of their times working at AstroWorld. The event would feature a small performance by a couple of cast members who played Marvel and his Enchanted Animals at one point in time. Marvel McFey stands as an example of amusement and theme parks creating and featuring their own original characters and mascots, a practice which has been disappearing for multiple years within larger amusement chains, as intellectual properties and characters in theme parks have become commonplace. Although obscure, Marvel McFey has somewhat of a cult following, as many of the staff members who worked in the park during the time of the character's presence in the park have very fond memories of the stage show and characters. The character was talked about prominently on the AstroWorld with Nick Mundy episode of podcast The Ride. Instagram user Albert Rodriguez as of now is creating an original story and dark ride, which features various Raleigh Crumb characters that he's created for theme parks and attractions, including a handful of Marvel McFey's Enchanted animals. Thank you for watching this episode of Amusement Oddities. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click on the bell icon for notifications on new videos. My name is Hayden, and we hope to see you guys next time.